The Bureau's Last Delivery by Tony Angelo. The rain had been falling for 3 days straight. The Bureau's lights flickered like tired eyes. Elias Ward sat alone in the mailroom, watching the water crawl down the windows. Every drop sounded like a clock running out of time. The building was empty now. The clerks had gone home. The archives were sealed. Only the letters remained, thousands of envelopes stacked in neat rows, waiting for destinations that no longer existed. He had been told to deliver one last message. No address, no return. Just a seal. The Bureau of Reassignment. Final notice. He turned the envelope over. It was heavier than paper should be. Inside, something pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. He thought of Marjorie Hale, the woman who had once guided him through the Bureau's labyrinth of promises and regrets. She had vanished months ago, leaving behind only a folder labeled Promise Pending. He wondered if the letter was meant for her. The elevator groaned as he descended to the basement. The walls were lined with filing cabinets, each humming softly. He could feel the building breathing, slow, mechanical, alive. At the end of the corridor stood a door he had never seen before. It was marked Delivery Room, authorized personnel only. He pushed it open. Inside was a single desk, a single lamp, and a single chair. On the desk sat a typewriter. It was already loaded with paper. He placed the envelope beside it. The lamp flickered. The typewriter began to move on its own. Dear Elias, you have reached the end of correspondence. The Bureau thanks you for your service. Please deliver this letter to yourself. He stared at the words. They were typed in his own rhythm, the slight hesitation between sentences, the faint pressure of guilt. He whispered, "What does that mean?" The typewriter answered, "It means you are the last message." He felt the room tilt. The walls began to hum louder. Drawers opened by themselves, releasing faint glows of light, memories escaping their folders. He saw faces in the light. Marjorie, Thomas, Elena, all the Bureau's ghosts. Each one held an envelope. Each one whispered the same phrase. "Deliver us." Elias grabbed the envelope and ran. The corridors twisted like veins. The lights pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. He reached the lobby. Rain poured through the broken glass doors. The city outside was silent. Streets empty, windows dark. He stepped into the rain. The envelope glowed faintly in his hand. He walked for hours. Every street sign was blank. Every mailbox was sealed shut. Finally, he reached the old post office, the one where Marjorie had once worked. The building was half collapsed, but the mail slot was still intact. He slipped the envelope through. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ground trembled, the lights inside flickered, and a voice spoke from the darkness. Delivery confirmed. He turned. The Bureau's seal shimmered on the wet pavement, a faint circle of light with an eagle at its center. The rain slowed. The air grew still. He heard footsteps behind him. Marjorie stood there, soaked, smiling faintly. "You came back," she said. "I had to," he replied. "It was the last delivery." She nodded. "It always is." They walked together through the rain. The city began to glow. Faint lights appearing in windows, letters sliding under doors, envelopes opening themselves. Each letter carried a single sentence. "We remember you." Marjorie looked up. "The Bureau's releasing everything." Elias nodded. "Every promise, every regret." "What happens now?" He smiled. "We stop keeping." They reached the river. The water shimmered with floating envelopes, each glowing softly. The current carried them toward the horizon. Marjorie whispered, "They're finding their way home." Elias watched the letters drift. He felt the weight in his chest lift. He realized the Bureau had never been a building. It had been a memory, a system built to hold what people couldn't say, and now it was letting go. He opened his coat. Inside was one last envelope, blank, unsealed. He wrote a single line, "I forgive you." He dropped it into the river. The water swallowed it gently. The glow spread outward, touching every other letter. Marjorie smiled. "That was yours." Elias nodded. "It was everyone's." The rain stopped. The city exhaled. The Bureau's seal faded from the sky. Elias looked at Marjorie. "Will it start again?" She shook her head. "No, it's finished." He smiled. "Then we're free." She looked at him. "We always were." They stood in silence as the river carried the letters away. Each envelope shimmered like a heartbeat. Each one whispered a name. The Bureau's last delivery was not a message. It was a release. Weeks later, the building was gone. Only the foundation remained, a circle of wet stone where the seal had once been. In its center lay a single envelope, dry despite the rain. To whoever finds this, the Bureau kept your silence safe. You may speak now, and somewhere in the quiet heart of the city, a new voice began to write itself. Dear reader, you don't know us, but we remember you. Every word you never said has arrived. The Bureau is closed. The world is listening.